Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over the best teams for the new Dokkan Festival exclusive Cell Perfect Form. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky to go over this one because I heavily recommend that you do not summon for this character. But a lot of you guys, I'm sure, have already made your decision. If you have pulled them, you were probably watching this video in order to sort of get an idea of where you should be running him, right? So what do we need to do before we get into the teams themselves? We need to understand what we are aiming to do with each one of these teams, and that is make sure that we get his intro buff. So what is the condition? We need a tournament participants category enemy or another tournament participants category ally at the start of the character's attacking turn. So this is not going to be on the same team. This is going to be on the same turn. So sometimes you're going to get unlucky when you're building teams like this, and you're going to have to wait for him to come back around. One thing that's going to be really important for this character very soon is going to be the EZA AGL Cell, who's going to be dropping, 2 hours? Pretty quickly after this video drops. I'm recording this one really late, just a long day today. I just didn't have time to get a video out right away. So just want to make sure you guys know that EZA is going to be coming later today. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the best teams that we are going to be looking for. So first and foremost, let's just get his leader skill out of the way, and we are going to look at the tournament participants category. Now, if you are running this guy as a lead, right, you're going to have some interesting options here where I think potentially there is some good stuff that you could work with to kind of make this team have some synergy, right? Where you're running this cell. When this EZA comes out, you're going to have AGL Cells EZA, so you're going to be able to run like a pretty good rotation between these two. You're going to have the Super EZA Perfect Cell, who's a very good character, right? So that's 3 cells already. We're in a pretty good spot. And what we want to also make sure that we have is sort of like a big bad boss's battery. So you would want somebody like Bojack on the team because he's going to work out pretty well. And if you want to have like maybe a super class rotation on the other side of things, you could run like Gohan with this version of Goku Gohan right here. This could potentially work for you. I think a slot 1 could be a little bit tricky in that spot. But that is going to be one of the better options here because tournament of power or tournament participants is not the best category. So if you just wanted to run like straight up tournament participants, I think you're going to be in a bit of a spot. So you want to take advantage of the rest of the leader skill. So tournament participants / worldwide chaos is going to help you out a little bit too, because you're going to get, you're going to get access to characters like this Boo, Buhan, Kid Boo, Buhan, right? That is going to help you out a significant amount in order to sort of make these teams work. So that's going to be the first one here for his leader skill specifically. I think this is a very good start. I guess if like we could potentially see like maybe like if the tech androids get an EZA for some reason during the celebration, that could be really helpful for the team. But somebody like Fat Boo, where things get a little bit tricky with Fat Boo though, I'd honestly probably stay away from running this character on this team if you are trying to make Cell work at his best, because you want this Cell to revive, right? So that is one thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have. So you're going to be able to easily get his buff here from the cells that are running around. So this cell, where's tournament participants? So this cell, right? And then if you want to run Bojack, you can. So there's a very high chance if you're running like 3 cell characters, you're easily going to be able to get that domain active as soon as possible. Then if we look over here, we are going to be able to have some extra Boo characters because all 3 of these characters are going to be possessing big bad bosses here. So going to be very helpful for rotations. I think Int Fat Boo like can work, but again, you have to keep in mind that you want to focus, if you are trying to make Cell look his best, you want to focus on getting this guy's revive first, right? Or not first, but getting this guy's revive over his. So you would be losing access to the Ghost Usher and stuff like that. And then this Boo also does not possess big bad bosses. So that is going to be a bit of a spot for him, right? So not the best setup to be running this Int Boo. Can it work? Yes, but again, you are going to potentially be throwing away this Cell's revive at times if you do end up getting this one, because revives are obviously not unlimited, and especially if you have 3 characters that are getting it, only one of them can do so. So that is the first team here, Cell's leader skill himself. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Transformation Boost. Now this is going to be very similar to the last team. We'd be running this under the Tech Buhan leader, or Broly, or Daima Goku, or Daima Vegeta, whichever one you have that suits best. Any of these 4 can work as a potential leader. And now again, you definitely just want to run this guy next to Cell, right? Like these 2, this is the rotation that you want to be running if you can potentially get away with it. Now, something else you could do, again, this Tech Cell, he's pretty damn good. Buhan is on this team. You have access to Janemba characters on this team, Broly on this team, Kid Buu on this team. Just a very wide variety of characters that you could potentially run, and then also just like room for characters who will potentially easy A soon, right? I think where's Buddy at? It's I'm looking for the physical Frieza. Is he not on this team? He literally transforms. There he is. Yeah, physical Angel Frieza right here. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, where is he at on this team? I think that could potentially work very well with this specific setup. Just kind of looking at the overall grand scheme of things with transformation boost, this is just a category where you could potentially get away with doing a lot of different things, where you do have a few cells on the team to ensure that you do end up getting that domain active, and then you could go a little bit more like super class focused, right? You could have like a rotation with the Super Saiyan gods, and like Super Saiyan 4 Goku could even work, right? You got characters like Daima Goku. You could run a Broly rotation. You could run like UI Gokus. There's just a lot of variety with this setup with transformation boost, and I think this is overall just a really good team for this character, just because you're just gonna have a lot of options in order to sort of build the team how you would need to. So these right now stand out as the best teams for me for this cell, but looking at his categories, it's like, what other teams potentially could we be seeing where he would work out? I think Accelerated Battle would be another very good team for him. Just because the Glorio lead, again, it's the same thing where you just have him next to the cell. You have him with this cell. And Accelerated Battle is going to give him access to the Glorio support. You're going to have access to the Super Saiyan 4 rotation right here. Just both of the LR10 years, right? So you could essentially run this the cell on like a 10th anniversary sort of meta team with Glorio, and you're going to have permanent access to that 50% support, while on the other rotation you could have like the year 10s, which work out very well, obviously. So I think the Glorio team is also going to be like a low-key underrated one, like maybe one that potentially you could be sleeping on, just because like what like the issue with Glorio is like, what the issue with this character in specific is going to be the fact that Glorio is only giving 170%, right? To this specific setup, because he just Cell is not, unless I'm crazy, yeah, Cell is not on demonic power. So that is going to be a little bit tricky because you're losing access to that 200%. So it's not going to be like 250% to your stats. It's going to be more like 220% to your stats, minus the HP, right? So that is something to keep in mind. I think that overall, this is a really good like setup for him, though. Just a lot of good stuff going on with this team, because again, with the Accelerated Battle, you also are going to get access to demonic power with Accelerated Battle. So the thing with this team specifically is this: you're always just going to sort of be circling back to like a core of Buhans and Kid Boos and Super Boos and Cells and stuff like that. But you also have options for superclass characters, right? Characters that a lot of players are going to have. And this is like a way where you could just have like a good Big Bad Boss's battery right here with this cell, and if you need like a free-to-play option, like you could run this Demon King Piccolo. I'm not saying it's going to be very good, but you could potentially get away with running it. So I think that is a good option as well. So Accelerated Battle, I like this one under the Glorio leader. I think that is going to be a pretty decent team for you. But other than that, it's going to be tricky, right? I think what they're going to try and do is buff Android/Cell Saga, but the issue with this team in specific is the fact that they don't really have like a leader right now. Right, like this Cell, I guess, could be a leader. But, yeah, I guess. But yeah, so interesting. Yeah, he was a 200%, huh? Yeah, so he would be a pure 200 for this this Cell. But the issue specifically with the team is you're gonna have this guy. So it's like these 5. Yeah, no, I think this actually is a pretty good team looking back at it, right? I think what the issue would kind of draw, like what you want to do is run like one Cell rotation and then run like this Gohan with this Goku Gohan. I think that's sort of how I would do it, just looking at it. This is actually like a pretty decent team. It's just very top heavy. And if you are missing this STR Cell, you are kind of like a fish out of water a little bit, where you would have to run like this Cell, and this Cell isn't exactly the best replacement. So it's like if you run like a pure version of this is going to be a very good way to run another Cell as a friend lead, because you are going to have permanent access to tournament participants characters. So you're just going to have full access to Cell's leader skill as a friend support. So overall, I think that's actually a pretty decent setup. So there you guys go. Again, I'm not please don't summon for this character. If you are somebody who like hasn't summoned for this guy and you're like watching the best teams video just to support me, which greatly appreciated, by the way, you just don't need to summon for this guy. Especially at 55%, it's just he is not going to be able to cut it for you. And it's like the verdict on this guy is he is dupe dependent, and you never want like a modern 2025 or just like you don't want a new release ever in Dokkan to be dupe dependent, right? You want to be able to get this guy at 55% and he's going to go in and dominate. That should be the goal of every character that release in terms of, you know, Dokkan Fest exclusive, summonable LRs, carnival LRs, Dokkan Festival exclusive LRs. That should be the objective. If it's the brand new character in the game, they should be dominant. And unfortunately, this cell, I think, is good, but he's not good enough. I think that's sort of the verdict that I have with him. Is he still a top 10 TUR? Yes, but the bar for TURs right now is a little bit tricky if you exclude easy A's. So there you go. So let me know down below, what teams are you running this cell on? Do you have this cell? Did you decide to summon? Did you not decide to summon? All of that fun stuff in the comment section below. Thank you guys for all of the support lately. It is greatly appreciated. And if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.